I'm too positive to be doubtful, too optimistic to be fearful. So all my time I spend cheerful, and I know exactly what I'm here for. I'm too positive to be doubtful, too optimistic to be fearful. So all my time I spend cheerful, and I know exactly what I'm here for. I'm too positive to be doubtful, too optimistic to be fearful. So all my time I spend cheerful, and I know exactly what I'm here for. I'm too positive to be doubtful, too optimistic to be fearful. So all my time I spend cheerful, and I know exactly what I'm here for. What it do? It's your boy, Dragon Ball Art 92, and I'm back with another bang reaction video. Yes, we actually back on our Unreal and Gaming hype, y'all. You dig? Last time we were actually on the episode where Goku was training in the Angel Realm, and Vegeta was training in the realm of the Destroyer gods. Ooh, and it was getting good. Now we're continuing on to the storyline. So today's video, we'll be doing reaction video to the Omniversal training is complete. And you know this is about to be good. But before we get to the content today, you guys, make sure you hit that like button so that way we can trigger YouTube algorithm. You know the deal. Also, if you're new here, I want to sincerely thank you for coming by and enjoying content with us today. Here at Dragon Ball Art 92, we do reaction videos. Dragon Ball everything reaction videos. So if you're a Dragon Ball fan, make sure you hit that subscribe button and become a part of the Dragon Ball Art family. You dig, you dig, you dig? Now that we got all that great stuff out the way, let's get to the content.
As our story now continues, following the initial training sessions involving both Vegeta and Goku within their own respective realms, with that having to be the angelic realm and the realm of the gods, following their 2-month Omniversal training sessions within said realms, to which as Goku was shown in having to undergo his training session with both Whis and Ivalco, was when Whis went on to then further address Goku by then responding, "Now while I am impressed to see that your body is still durable enough to continue to hold out despite in having it be put through rigorous amounts of strain and anguish, I can't help but need to have to ask you now if you wish to take a small break in the meantime, Goku," with Goku responding, "No, not until I am able to." "What did I say, Goku? Keep your eyes locked on the ground and do not speak unless I order for you to speak, and if your body wobbles like that again," Ivalco says, "even if it's just for a moment, then I am going to kick you with enough force behind my strike that it'll break every single bone that I make contact with throughout your body."
Now this is some real training, bro. Goku is really getting put to his limits. And while you're doing those type of push-ups and getting kicked in your core, it's strengthening that core so that way it can take any type of attack that comes this way. Man, that's one way of training, bro. And it's very smart too in my eyes, you know. But it look like they are beating the bios out of Goku right now, bro. You know, I'm wondering if he go push through or if he go fall. You know what I mean? But this is really, really good, and it's gonna help him against the 5. Trust me.
You serious?
Goku. Well, at least you didn't go on to fully turn your head this time, Goku. But while I in fact actually second Ivalco's suggestion in reminding you to refrain yourself from breaking your concentration when you should instead be focused at the task that is placed right in front of you, Whis adds, if you happen to go and waver your reflexes again, or if I sense that your concentration is no longer aligned with the calmness of your angelic heartbeats, then I will be going and joining my brother in carrying out the necessary means to break as many bones that I possibly can every single time I strike you, Goku. To which it was only during the—
Man, it's crazy how Whis can talk to Goku so calmly and just boot the living life out of him. Man, it shows you what type of character Whis is. You just never know what to expect from bro. You know what I mean? He can give you the cool side, but that cool side also can come very deadly too.
Bruh.
You dig what I'm saying? Man, Whis is something else, but let's get back to it.
These very moments Now, following the 2-month time period, with Goku now shown on the ground and assumingly successfully being shown completing his Omniversal training session, was when Whis went on to then quickly respond, well, despite through everything that it was that I had attempted in going and putting you here through, your training here alongside the rest of us here inside of the Angel Realm has finally been completed, Goku, and while I feel for you due to the lack of breaks that I've given you throughout the course of having you spend your days in training alongside myself and Ivalco, as well, of course, as with Merlix, Cabix, and Henix, Whis continues, I want for you to know that I am very much proud of everything that you were able to go and achieve in your ventures thus far here, Goku.
I mean, he did keep up with all the angels, bro. He showed out with the rookies, and he kept up with Whis and Ivalco, bro. That's one crazy feat to reach for a mortal, bro.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
And Goku been surpassing his limits like crazy, you know what I mean? And you just got to give Goku his props for the hard work. I'm glad that we put him through that type of training, bro. Now I want to see if what this training outcome is going to do for him in that tournament. You feel me? Is this going to help him win it, or will he still lose, bro?
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
That's the question, right? Let's get back to it.
As I will also be the first one to say that for everything that it was, you are also by accordance to what we as angels have both seen and experienced throughout our history, the first ever mortal warrior to ever go as far as to rival and contend against us angels in direct combat, and proving your worth by revealing to even the mightiest of my brethren of the unique gift that you just so happen to carry, Goku. And while you have went from struggling to register my movements during battle to later being able to call them out and counter them, Whis continues, along with having you be shown and holding your own against Ivalco, despite with the amount of pressure that him and I had continued to place upon you through my own involvement in handicapping you, you had went and still found a way to strengthen your previous weaknesses, as your angel form has now undergone extraordinary refinement in not only allowing for you to sustain it for an extended periods of time that dwarf your initial attempts, but your angelic balance when wielding such power has also improved significantly as well, to which as Ivalco was then shown in having to slowly approach Goku was when Ivalco went on to then quickly respond, while it is exceedingly rare that I am to go and offer my hand like this to any known challenger following such an extensive and grueling training session that was held for the purpose of evolving your angelic potential in preparation for Lord Zeno's Omniversal tournaments, and I must go on to admit that your prowess in navigating the angelic trials has proven to be very exceptional, Goku, for I must go on to also state plainly that you are the first.
You know what I'm wondering? If Ivalco's traveling through dimensions has something to do with the destroyer gods from the other timeline to recognize that something was coming. I wonder, how did they angels figure that out? Was it something that came from this timeline, or was it something that came from another story timeline? That's a mind-boggling type of question right now. You did to just even think about it. So interesting. Let's get back to it.
First ever mortal warrior to ever go and push me to such lengths in direct combat like this before, and because of your rarity, I hereby offer you respects as a fellow angelic equal, Goku, for you have earned that designation through your sheer determination and unyielding focus in proving that you are indeed worthy of standing within our respective ranks as one among our very own, Goku, to which as Goku then shown in having to get up by shaking Ivalco's hand was when Goku went on to then quickly respond, wow, you really mean it? Well, thanks for that, Ivalco, but man, are you insanely strong. And as I couldn't go and thank you enough for helping push me in the ways that you actually did, because outside of your brother Whis and another really powerful individual by the name of Takira, you were by far one of my toughest challenges to date, Ivalco, and I owe you one for this, so that much I can go on to promise you. With Whis responding, your services in assisting me by furthering Goku's angelic evolution is greatly appreciated, more than you can possibly know, brother, as I wish you safe travels wherever your journey may go and take you, to which as Ivalco was then shown in having to get ready to make his leave before Goku went as far as to interrupt him was when Goku went on to then quickly respond, thanks for everything, Ivalco. Oh wait, before you go, I was a little curious to know on what it was that you had mentioned when you brought up in having encountered someone with a strangely similar energy to my own a little earlier, and well, and I was kind of wondering, surely it wouldn't happen to be another version of me that you had been dealing with now, was it? With Ivalco being shown in having to turn his head by responding, "So your curiosity has piqued, I see. Very well then, as I will tell you as much as I am allowed to go and speak about," Ivalco says, "for it wasn't long ago where I had the duty of training a mortal warrior in tandem with Lord Beerus during a concurrent period of intense preparation while stationed within this particular reality, and while I had been training him," Ivalco says, "I felt that he possesses a life force that resonates in near identical harmony with your very own, in reflecting the same fierce vitality and latent strength that defies your very core, Goku. And although you may not share a similar platform in relation when it comes to your strength, being that you were far more difficult to battle against than it was when having to go and deal with the individuals who came before you, and especially when having to go and deal with that uniquely interesting angel form of yours," Ivalco says, "and since you really wanted to know, his name was Gohan. Bruh. And under the strict..."
Bro, so that lets you know that Gohan that he trained with Bears is on the level though. It's on that level though, at least getting up there. But he obviously stated that Goku's angel form is way more stronger than that. So it's quite interesting what we got going on here. But let's get back to it.
"Orders of the angelic corps that I serve under," Ivalco continues, "I am forbidden from divulging any further details concerning my duties or the specifics of that training encounter, but what I can say," Ivalco says, "is should the reunion between the two of us come sooner before I am sent out into another reality for my services, then I just want for you to know that the next time that our paths cross in battle, the outcome here between us will be much, much different. And so now take care of yourself, Goku, and good luck within the Omniversal tournament," Ivalco says. Well, wouldn't you know, Whis went on to then quickly chime in, "for it would seem as though Ivalco had already gotten a glimpse of what your lineage has to offer by a way of accompanying your son during his training with Lord Beerus, I see. How very interesting. But while we shouldn't go and waste any more of these precious moments while we still have them," Whis continues, "we should go and take this time in making the most of what we are given before we are summoned by the Grand Priest and the Omni Kings. But now that we have managed to go and successfully complete your training here with only but a few more hours to spare before the Grand Priest instructs for us to go and join him for the grand opening of this Omniversal tournament, we will hereby go and take our leave as we make our way back home and onto Lord Beerus's homeworld, where we will go and resume with what is left before we are officially summoned," Whis says. To which all the while in the meantime, when then having to venture on back inside of the realm of the gods and seeing as to how 2 months later Vegeta was all...
It's Vegeta time, and I wonder, because I'm not gonna lie, it seemed like Vegeta going through more of a training than Goku was.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
I know Goku dealing with them angels, but the way that these destroyer gods are putting Vegeta through the flux, bro, man, it seemed like he really getting more of a training than Goku was. But if you disagree with me, leave a comment in the comment section and tell me why. Let's get back to it.
Also shown in doing similar training methods and routines to that of Goku, but in a different way, was when Beerus went on to acknowledge Vegeta by then quickly responding, "You better not even go and think about it, Vegeta, because we are only just getting started here. Until I am to go and tell you otherwise, then you are to go and continue until you reach 500,000 pull-ups as Moscow uses the full force of his mechanized suit in creating even more resistance for you for the time being. And once you are done, then we will go and cycle Moscow out in place for another god, as you will go and carry on by doing 500,000 more before we are to go and move on to the next routine. And so try not to go and lose your grip while you're being pulled down below," Beerus says. "Otherwise, I will go and reset the count back at 1 again, and so you better remain focused here if you know what's good for you, Vegeta." To which it was only shortly after, with Vegeta now being shown having to press on down by doing push-ups, with the massive Titanus having to be shown standing on Vegeta's back while he was undergoing said routines, was when Titanus went on to address Vegeta by then responding, "What's the matter, Saiyan? Am I a little too heavy for you? Well, that's too bad, because you better go and start getting used to it, because you have another 400,000 of those remaining before we are to go and make our way on over to the next course. And for the record, just so that we are clear here," Titanus continues, "if you think about hesitating, even if it's just for a moment, then I am going to make you regret ever agreeing to come here when you did, Vegeta. And so now keep it moving." And keep it moving Vegeta did, because despite with Vegeta being...
I couldn't imagine trying to do some push-ups, bro, when somebody's whole body weight is on your back, bro.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Man, that's insane strength. And that's core strength. That's just not upper strength, bro. That's core strength too. So Vegeta getting a whole body workout, insane one, and this might be doing him better than going into the hyperbolical time chamber. You feel me? But I don't know, man. Maybe it could be equal. Who knows?
Shown continually and having to undergo several different training methods as Multus Prime and Beerus were overseeing Vegeta was when Multus Prime went on to then quickly respond, good, just like that, all the way until you reach the end of the bridge when getting to us, Vegeta, as you are to go and make your way across this bridge.
Another thing too, I like these backstories on how they explain how the Warriors got stronger. We get to actually see the inside of their training, bro. It just makes you connect to the character a little bit more, to me, in my eyes. So that's why I like seeing these type of backstories, especially when it comes to manga type of storylines, you dig? And anime, bro. You know what I mean? Straight up, and anime. But let's get back to it.
Just as you had done the first few times, except once you reach our current location by the end of this walkway, Multus continues, then you are to go and turn right back around and continue to walk down that very same bridge that you just so happen to be walking across until I am to go and give you the go-ahead in moving on to the next platform, to which many weeks later, as Vegeta was then shown crumbling on down to the ground and now successfully being shown completing his training session, was when Beerus went on to then acknowledge Vegeta by responding, now while I shouldn't be surprised when knowing as to who you are and all that comes with what it is that you represent, I am not only proud to say that your training here within the realm of the gods has finally reached its end with succession, but I am also proud in having you represent our title as destroyers here with great and untold levels of admiration as well, Vegeta. Indeed, as I also second my son's assessment on you saying, Multus Prime went on to then quickly chime in, for not only did you go and prove me wrong when I had first laid my eyes upon you and thinking that you stood no chance in surviving the onslaughts that you were shown in having your...
He surpassed the guy's expectations, which you can only expect. Vegeta is just one of those workers. You feel me? He go work. He go put in that work, man, to get the goal that he's trying to reach. And he always trying to get stronger than Goku, bro. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. They just in competition for life at this point.
be put through, but you have done well enough in turning myself along with many of the others into true believers of your ultimate and great potential here, Saiyan. And because you have proven yourself in being unlike any other mortal warrior who has ever stood before the gods and lived to tell the tale of their acceptance, Multus Prime continues, I offer you my deepest respects as a fellow equal in this realm of annihilation, for you have proven yourself as one of the strongest destroyers that I have ever witnessed throughout my entire tenure as a former god of destruction, for you have also went and proven yourself beyond any shadow of a doubt as a student who is truly worthy of being regarded as an equal here amongst the gods, and especially through the means of when finding yourself and having to use that destructive mastered ultra ego variant of yours, Saiyan, where you have not only allowed for yourself to grow and becoming far better connected and far better adjusted in wielding such destructive power, but you were also successfully able to go and draw upon its very essence to counter the gods during your grueling battles with them here as well, Multus says. A rarity for many, if you will, Multus Prime continues, as it isn't often where we go and find ourselves in running into a mortal such as yourself very often, Vegeta, and because I was able to go and witness the very fire that burns within your warrior spirit as you strive to become the very best of the absolute best, the praise that I offer remains fleeting in the grand scheme of what is about to go and take place within the coming hours here, Saiyan, as everything that you hold dear, including the survival and continued prosperity of your home and universe, as well as the validation of your newly crowned title as an unofficial appointed god of destruction, will all be on the line here, Vegeta, as failure is simply not an option if you wish to go and uphold the divine title that you have fought so fiercely to go and obtain, and so do bear the lessons that you have learned within our realm in mind when you are called into action, Saiyan, because as a warrior who embodies the true meaning of aggression and destruction within your very spirit, do not go and depart from this realm without first remembering your boundless potential through the essence of destruction that comes from within, Vegeta, to which as Beerus was then shown in having to take his leave by acknowledging Vegeta, was when Beerus went on to then walk away by addressing Vegeta in responding, let's hurry it up so that we can go and get moving now, Vegeta, for we are to go and make every use of every second that is made available to us, and so now follow me as we will be on our way, with Multus Prime responding, good luck, Saiyan, for we await for your return, but if this will be the last time that we will go and be seeing you, then may the strength of the gods along with its ancestors go and guide you on your journey, Vegeta.
It's pretty dope to see that Vegeta got backup from the older Destroyer gods. You feel me? That he impressed them. Now he got a team of destroyers that's pretty much backing him, supporting him in this tournament.
You serious?
It's gonna be an interesting fight, bro, because you just really never know who gonna win this. You feel me? And if Goku and Vegeta gotta fight each other, oh my god, it's gonna be a insane fight, bro. Let's get back to it.
Vegeta, to which it was only just upon with Vegeta now being shown and having to take his leave with Beerus, was when Beerus went on to acknowledge Vegeta personally by responding, "You should be very proud in seeing as to how far you have came since the early days of when you were nothing more than a peon when compared to a god's power, Vegeta. But would you go and look at how much things have changed within such a short amount of time, as I am more than confident that we will be successful in our mission at winning this tournament based with what it was with the things that I have seen, and now that your training has finally been completed with all that it was to which we were able to go and accomplish with the amount of limited time that was given onto us, we will now go and head back into Universe 7, where you will go and spend the remaining hours that will be made available to us on my planet, as I am more than certain that Whis will likely also be going and doing the same with Goku," Beerus continues, "and so it's best that we go and get a move on so that way we can go and stay ahead of the game here, Saiyan." To which all the while during this time, when then having to venture on back within the tournament realm, also formerly known as the Null Realm, with the Grand Priest having to orchestrate and set up the entire Omniversal tournament before beginning, was when the Grand Priest went on to further address the Omni Kings by responding, "There we are now, sires, and with your God Pads fully functional and granting you the full authority to shape the rules of engagement throughout the course of this upcoming tournament, let us now go and continue by addressing the four mightiest, as I call upon the strongest to emerge before our very presence."
I wonder how they training went too. Ooh, if we can get some inside information on how they train, because they're the top 5 strongest, bruh. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm just wondering how strong either Budo got or I think it's I ain't even go butcher his name, Akuma. You know what I'm saying? That might not even be the name, but yeah, bro. I want to see, bro, where they strength boosted up from the first two. You feel me? Because Goku's primal Ultra Instinct form was giving them a hard time. You feel me? Pretty much beat them. So I want to see where they leveled up to, And this is looking good. It's already getting started. It's similar to the Tournament of Power. So, but I believe the rules are going to be different. Interesting.
"For the coming of a new battle is near at hand," the Grand Priest continues, "for your presence here is no mere coincidence or by a random selection, as it is the deliberate orchestration of unimaginably powerful forces in order to ensure that only the strongest are to prevail across all known realities. And because I can now begin to sense the four of you having to approach us, I would like to hereby go and welcome you all back inside of the tournament realm for Lord Zeno's upcoming Omniversal tournament event, which is only just hours away from having it finally go and take place here," the Grand Priest says, to which it was only upon with Budo, Akuma, Yoshido, and Takira now having to emerge and having to make their presence known within the tournament realm was when the Grand Priest then went on to continue, "And because the four of you represent such an extraordinary concentration of both might and experience, then unlike how it was when you had found yourselves in facing off against Goku directly, this time, however, I have meticulously assigned each of you to your own separate bracket corners within this Omniversal tournament structure for the purposes of both balance and difficulty," the Grand Priest continues, "because should you prove in being successful..."
Kind of sound like a Mortal Kombat setup. You know how it's different brackets and then you can fight different players. You can fight more players, you can fight less players depending on the difficulty that you wanted to fight. I believe kind of that's what's going on here, bro. And that's going to be interesting, bro. Because you just never know who's going to win out of these certain quadrants. There's so many different multiverses and dimensions that he's bringing into it. It can seem like it's going to be chaotic, but it's going to be very, very interesting.
During these foundational rounds, the Grand Priest said, then the bracket's architecture will guarantee that your paths will begin to converge towards one another with a mathematical inevitability, which ultimately means that the likelihood of having either one of you battle against the other in order for you to go and claim your rightful places within this tournament will ultimately become a reality, the Grand Priest continues, and just as it was before when facing off against Goku, you will be given 0 lifeline perks to be used during this grand event, as you are hereby instructed with the full weight weight of my authority to go and uphold the tournament's reputation through every action and every exchange until a winner is crowned, the Grand Priest says. And as a collective, the four of you bear the heaviest mantle of expectation within this entire Omniversal tournament, with the only exceptions having to be our timeline's variations of Goku and Vegeta. And so if you are to go in advance precisely as the brackets predict, then your eventual meetings in both the semifinals and final round against one another, assuming that this will be the case of course, will stand as the tournament's most crowning spectacle, and so do make sure to go and bear that in mind, with Akuma then having to quickly respond. So now that we once again find ourselves in sharing the No Realm alongside Goku and his mortal ally Vegeta, what exactly are Lord Zeno's rules for this coming event, Akuma questions, for I do not wish to go and be restricted, especially if we have unfinished business to settle here, Grand Minister, with the Grand Priest responding, victory shall be achieved through one of 6 definitive means during the course of this Omniversal tournament, which happens to include ring out, submission, knockout, a 10 count, forfeit, or death, and subsequently enough, spectators and external elements that are not part of the battle arena are strictly under my direct protection, so any immediate action that is hereby taken towards them, the Grand Priest continues, will be ultimately met with the full and immediate force of absolute eradication by ensuring that this tournament proceeds, for the response itself will be instantaneous and final, no appeals and no second chances, the Grand Priest continues, as you will also find it notable that your throne areas will be seated right beside our very own over there, with Budo having to address the 3 strongest by then having to respond. Then if these are going to be the rules by which this tournament will go by, then I want for the rest of you to
So the 5 gonna end up having to fight each other too, or maybe, that's yeah. This is a perfect setup to test everybody's strength, bruh. Everybody's getting put to the test, and I wonder who really gonna be that man. Who's gonna come out the go?
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
What y'all think?
understand that no matter which one of you I face off against when ascending up the ladder towards the finals of this tournament, I will use every possible measure that is available to me in order to ensure that I am victorious by the end of this. Am I understood? With Takira responding loud and clear, but just so you know just as well enough as we are all now made aware of, that the same measures will apply here as well, along with the other two if you end up in finding yourselves in having to cross paths with me, with Yoshido then having to suddenly chime in. And it's funny that you assume that you'll even go as far as to make it that close if one of us doesn't already drop you out before having to reach the finals of this tournament, Budo. But with all of that, with what you both just set aside, you should be careful when having to overlook your competition here, fellow brethrens, because sometimes it is the element of the unknown that holds the key into unlocking the gateway to absolute victory, to which, as the Grand Priest was then beginning to ponder on the tournament itself, was when the Grand Priest went on to then take note of this by having to respond, "Now in a matter of the coming hours, warriors of every conceivable caliber will soon flood this sacred arena, drawn at random from the infinite multiverses by the tournament's impartial overseers, with no restrictions and no limitations, for this tournament offers no mercy and no second chances, especially when the consequences are a direct result of one's own inability and actions during this coming event," the Grand Priest continues, which ultimately means that, as according to the Omni Kings themselves, for those who will fail to go on to reach the end despite their titles and given reputation, for those who will not emerge victorious by the end of this Omniversal tournament are said to be destroyed without a trace, the Grand Priests.
Man, so if they lose, they're getting destroyed. That's crazy work, bro. So it's either win or die.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
That's one crazy outcome, bro. Man, I wouldn't want to participate. Let's get back to it.
Says, and there will be no judgment on those who will emerge, whether they stand on the side of good or whether they align with the side of evil, obedient to the god or against them. All warriors will be judged fairly unless they are to go and warrant a response that dictates otherwise, the Grand Priest continues. And while I imagine that this upcoming event will surely be bound to showcase some of the most intense and barbaric battles that will undoubtedly go on to further please the Omni Kings, as they are given exactly what they have been hoping for in accordance to their wishes, is, I ponder on the sheer diversity of power levels that will soon be shown in having to clash here, each one with a potential spark that could ignite a cosmic upheaval if allowed to be going left unchecked. But among them all, the Grand Priest says, my thoughts especially linger on both Son Goku and Vegeta, because while I can already sense that they have returned from their respective training spaces and now having to appear to be far stronger and far more refined than how it was when I had last seen and battled against them exactly 2 months ago, while I anticipate a great number of things out of both of them, especially after gauging them both myself and pointing out their own individualistic weaknesses, I also hereby acknowledge the warning that must not go ignored, as they will not only find themselves in facing off against the 5 strongest within this governing reality, but an entirely new and impending landscape of unknown forces whose power tiers remain hidden within the shadows until the brackets of this magnificent tournament is finally set to be ignited, to which it was only right then and there now during that moment with the Beyond
Yeah, man, that's some good stuff, bro. That's some good stuff. See, storylines like this be having me captivated, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. You dig what I'm saying? Because it's so intriguing. I just be wanting to know what's gonna happen next. You dig what I'm saying? It's fun, bro. It's really, really fun, man. But that's it for me today, you guys. I want to thank you guys for coming through, man, and checking me out today, bro. It was a good episode. I'm gonna definitely keep dropping these videos pretty much every day, man, as much as I can. And y'all come through and support your boy. Let's grow over here at Dragon Ball R92. You dig what I'm saying? My first goal, man, is to reach 1,000 subscribers. So share, like, comment, and support your boy, man. But y'all know the slogan. Believe in yourself, because ain't nobody else go do it, bruh. Dragon Ball Art 92. I'm out, y'all. Peace.
I'm too positive to be doubtful, too optimistic to be fearful. So all my time I spend cheerful, and I know exactly what I'm here for. I'm too positive to be doubtful, too optimistic to be fearful. So all my time I spend cheerful, and I know exactly what I'm here for. I'm too positive to be doubtful, too optimistic to be fearful. So all my time I spend cheerful, and I know exactly what I'm here for. I'm too positive to be doubtful, too optimistic to be fearful. So all my time I spend cheerful, and I know exactly what I'm here for.